So today's video is about evaluating expressions. So what does it mean to evaluate an expression? It means you replace the variable with its number value, then simplify the expression by solving it, making sure you're following the order of operations. So how do you evaluate an expression? I'm so glad you asked that.
Glade plug-in scented oil. It doesn't fade. It doesn't fade away.
It doesn't fade.
Plug it in, plug it in. Scented oil makes the best plug-in ever. Plug it in, plug it in. Because oil freshens from the first drop to the last without quickly fading away. Fresh 60 days, freshness in a new way. Plug it in, plug it in. Now available in scented fragrances, floral breeze, and refreshing shifters. Plug it in. S. Johnson Family Company. Glade plug-in scented oil. It doesn't.
So I'm sure you were wondering, why are we watching the plug-in commercial? Well, the reason we're watching the plug-in commercial is because when you evaluate an expression, you're simply going to take the number that the variable is equal to and plug the number in for the variable. Get it? Plug it in, plug it in. It goes together. So to evaluate an expression, you simply plug the number in for the variable. So let's look at an example. So we're going to evaluate this expression. So we have the expression 2x plus 6y, and they've told us that x equals 2 and y equals 4. So that means we can actually replace the variable with the number. So we can replace the x with a 2 and replace the y with a 4. And keep in mind that when you have a number and a variable right beside each other, that's a symbol for multiplication. So this isn't just 2x. This is actually 2 times x. And this isn't just 6y. This is 6 times y. Because remember, the coefficient tells you how many x's you have. So you're going to use multiplication for it. So we're going to make sure that wherever we see an x, we're going to replace it with a 2, and then wherever we see a y, we're going to replace it with a 4. And so to solve it, we're going to do 2 times 2 plus 6 times 4. Now we want to make sure, as always, that we're following the order of operations. So we're following PEMDAS. So we've got to take care of the multiplication before we can do the addition. So we're going to have to make sure we do the 2 times 2 first, and then do the 6 times 4 before we add them together. And we know 2 times 2 gives us 4, and then 6 times 4 gives us 24. And then if we add those together for our final step, we get a final answer of 28. So when we evaluate this expression for x equals 2 and y equals 4, the expression will equal 28. And you know that you're going to be evaluating expression, one, because they'll usually say evaluate, but it's going to tell you what the variable is equal to. So when you know what the variable is equal to, all you have to do is plug it in, plug it in. Got it? So let's evaluate this expression. So we have 14 plus h squared minus 2g divided by 4 when h equals 3 and g equals 8. So now our variable h is equal to 3 and variable g is equal to 8. So in order for us to evaluate this expression, we've got to, you've guessed it, plug it in, plug it in. So we're going to plug in 3 for h, and then we're going to plug in 8 for g. So now our expression will be 14 plus 3 to the second power, because h was to the second power, minus 2 times 8 divided by 4. We have to make sure we're following the order of operations, which means we don't have any parentheses, but our exponent will come next. And so we know 3 to the second power, which is 3 times 3, will give us 9. So now we bring down everything we haven't done, and now again we're still following the order of operations. So next thing we need to do is take care of this 2 times 8, and that's going to give us 16. So now we have 14 plus 9 minus 16 divided by 4. Next step, we want to take care of the division. We want to do the 16 divided by 4, and that's going to give us 4. And so now we have 14 plus 9 minus 4. And now we can do our addition and subtraction, and we do that from left to right. So we're going to do 14 plus 9 first, which gives us 23. And then we'll do 23 minus 4 last, which gives us a final answer of 19. So when we evaluate the expression when h is 3 and g equals h, then 14 plus h squared minus 2g divided by 4 will give us an answer of 19. Now sometimes you're going to have to evaluate expression using what's called a function table. And what a function table does is it basically tells you, it gives you input and output. So it's going to give you what the variable is equal to, and with a function table the variable is going to equal different things as you go down the table. And then it's going to give you your expression, and basically each time you're filling in the table you're going to have to plug the value of the variable into the expression. So on the first row we see that x is going to equal 1. So if we were to use 1 for x and plug it into our expression 5 times parentheses x plus 3, that means we're going to replace the x with a 1 and then solve. So we're going to do what's in parentheses first, 1 plus 3, which will give us 4. Then bring down the 5, and then 5 times 4 gives us 20. So that means 20 goes in our table. So now if we go to the next row, they're telling us now in this row x is going to be equal to 2. But we're still using the same expression, 5 parentheses x plus 3. So now I'm going to plug 2 in for my variable x. So now I have 5 times 2 plus 3. I'm going to do 2 plus 3 first, which gives me 5, and then I'll do 5 times 5, which gives me 25. So that means the next number in our table is 25. Then, now they're telling me on the next row that x is now going to equal 3. So now we're going to use the same expression that we used before, and we're going to plug 3 in for x. So now we have 5 times parentheses 3 plus 3, and 3 plus 3 gives us 6. And then we're going to do 5 times 6, which equals 30. So now the next number in our table is 30. And then our last value in the table, they say, well, what if x equals 4? So we're going to plug 4 into our same expression and see what that gives us. So then we're going to plug 4 in. So now it's going to be 5 times parentheses 4 plus 3. We'll do the parentheses first, 4 plus 3, and that gives us 7. And then we'll do 5 times 7, and it gives us 35. So then in our table, when x equals 1, the expression is 20. When x equals 2, the expression equals 25. When x equals 3, the expression equals 30. When x equals 4, the expression equals 35. And if we wanted to continue this table, we could. And this is called a function table. So this is another way that you'll see evaluating expressions. So the main thing that you want to remember is when you're evaluating expression, that means they're going to tell you what the variable is equal to. And once you know what the variable is equal to, in order to solve or simplify the expression, all you have to do is, say it with me, plug it in, plug it in. I think you got it now. So now, teach the tiger something you learned in today's video.